10 habits that make you mentally weak without you realizing it. What if some of the habits you repeat every day are quietly making you mentally weaker? You may not notice it. There is no dramatic warning. You simply repeat the same behaviors day after day. You avoid something uncomfortable. You overthink a decision. You compare yourself to someone else. You complain. You make an excuse. And slowly, your mind becomes accustomed to taking the easiest path. The good news is that mental weakness is not a permanent condition. Your mind can be trained. Just as repeated challenges can make you stronger, repeated avoidance can make you more fragile. So today, let's look at 10 habits that can make you mentally weak without you realizing it, and what you can do instead. Number 1, always choosing comfort. Comfort isn't the enemy, but constantly choosing comfort can become one. When you always avoid difficult conversations, challenging tasks, uncertainty, or situations that make you uncomfortable, your brain learns a simple lesson: avoid discomfort. And the more you avoid it, the more intimidating it becomes. That's why something as simple as making a difficult phone call can eventually feel overwhelming. The solution isn't to make your entire life difficult, it's to deliberately practice discomfort. Exercise when you don't feel like it. Start the task you've been postponing. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Do something that challenges you. Because every time you face discomfort instead of running from it, you teach yourself, I can handle this. Number 2, overthinking everything. Thinking is powerful. Overthinking is not. There is a difference between carefully considering a decision and endlessly replaying every possible outcome. You think about what could go wrong. Then you think about what people might think. Then you imagine another possibility, and eventually you have spent hours thinking without taking a single step. Overthinking often feels productive because your mind is busy, but being busy in your head is not the same as making progress. Sometimes the best way to get clarity is to act. Make the decision, take the first step, learn from the result. You don't need certainty before you move forward. Sometimes clarity comes after action, not before it. Number 3, constantly seeking approval. Wanting to be liked is human, but needing everyone's approval is a trap. If you constantly change your opinions, decisions, appearance, or behavior because you're afraid of what people will think, you're giving other people control over your identity. Someone will always disagree with you. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone may criticize you even when you did nothing wrong. You cannot control that. What you can control is whether you remain faithful to your values. Stop asking, will everyone like this? Start asking, is this right for me? Mental strength means being able to hear criticism without allowing it to destroy your self-respect. Number 4, constantly complaining. Everyone complains sometimes. That's normal. But when complaining becomes your default response, it changes the way you see the world. You start noticing problems before possibilities. You focus on what is unfair. You focus on what other people did wrong. You focus on everything you cannot control, and the more you repeat that pattern, the more powerless you can feel. Instead, when something goes wrong, ask a different question. What can I actually do about this? If you can change it, take action. If you cannot change it, accept it and redirect your energy. Complaining gives you a temporary emotional release. Action gives you power. Number 5, constantly comparing yourself to others. Social media makes this habit incredibly easy. You see someone's success, their career, their relationship, their house, their body, their lifestyle, and suddenly your own progress doesn't seem impressive anymore. But you're comparing your entire life to a carefully selected part of someone else's. That's not a fair comparison. There will always be someone ahead of you. There will also be someone who wishes they were where you are. Instead of asking, why am I not like them? Ask, am I better than I was 6 months ago? Your real competition is the person you were yesterday. Number 6, making excuses. Excuses are comfortable because they protect us from responsibility. I didn't have enough time. They didn't give me a chance. I'm just not good at that. I'll start when things get better. Sometimes those statements may contain some truth, but if you use them repeatedly, they become a prison. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means identifying what is within your control. Maybe you didn't choose your circumstances, but you can choose your next move. And the moment you focus on what you can control, you regain power. Responsibility is not punishment, it's freedom. Number 7, avoiding failure. Some people don't fear failure itself. They fear what failure might say about them. So they never start. They don't apply. They don't create. They don't speak up. They don't take the opportunity, because if they don't try, they can never fail. But there is a hidden cost. You also never discover what you could have achieved. Failure isn't proof that you're weak. Failure is information. It tells you what didn't work. It shows you where you need to improve. It forces you to adapt. The goal isn't to eliminate failure. The goal is to become someone who can survive it, learn from it, and try again. Number 8. Living in the past. The past can teach you, but it cannot be changed. You may regret a decision. You may wish you had acted differently. You may still be angry about something someone did to you. But replaying the same event hundreds of times won't rewrite it. There is a difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection asks, what can I learn from this? Rumination asks, why did this happen to me? One moves you forward, the other keeps you trapped. Take the lesson, accept what cannot be changed, then bring your attention back to the only moment you can actually influence, now. Number 9, letting your emotions control every decision. Your emotions matter, but emotions are not always instructions. You can feel angry and still choose not to react. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel discouraged and still keep working. You can feel rejected without deciding that you are worthless. Mental strength doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means creating space between the emotion and your response. Pause, breathe, think, then choose. You don't have to obey every emotion simply because you feel it. Number 10, breaking promises to yourself. This one is easy to underestimate. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll start. I'll exercise. I'll finish that project. I'll stop wasting time. And then you don't. Once in a while, that's human, but repeatedly breaking promises to yourself slowly damages something extremely important: self-trust. You begin to doubt your own words. You know what you should do, but you don't believe you'll actually do it. So start small. Don't promise yourself you'll completely transform your life tomorrow. Promise yourself you'll spend 20 minutes working on something important. Then do it. Promise yourself you'll exercise 3 times this week. Then do it. Every promise you keep becomes evidence that you can trust yourself, and self-trust is one of the foundations of confidence. So let's go back to the 10 habits. Always choosing comfort, overthinking everything, seeking everyone's approval, constantly complaining, comparing yourself to others, making excuses, avoiding failure, living in the past, letting emotions control every decision, and breaking promises to yourself. None of these habits automatically make someone a weak person. We all fall into them sometimes. The real danger is allowing them to become your default way of living, because your mind is being trained every day. Every time you avoid something difficult, you are practicing avoidance. Every time you take responsibility, you are practicing strength. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you are building self-trust. Every time you face discomfort, you are building resilience. And every time you choose action over excuses, you are becoming stronger. So don't try to change everything overnight. Choose one habit, identify it, interrupt it, replace it with something better, because mental strength isn't created by one heroic decision. It's built through hundreds of small decisions repeated consistently. Your habits are training your mind, so ask yourself, what am I training me to become?